Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to see you today. So glad that you could take the time out to join us at this, our very special travel show, our Chinese New Year Travel Festival, and to this, our special dedicated Europe and Middle East travel show. I'm Andy, your host on today's show, and I'm super excited about what we have in store for you today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of Chinese New Year, 2021 was the year of the ox. But hey, that is so 2021. It's 2022 now, a new year, a new start, and we are all ready to travel. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you, what animal symbolizes the year for 2022? Yes, I bet you know already. It is, in fact, the year of the tiger. Yes, the tiger. The tiger represents a year for making big changes, risk-taking, for adventure, and for celebrating life. And what better way to celebrate life than to travel? Yes, absolutely. So coming up today, I'll be speaking to Wendy Wu about travelling with Wendy Wu Tours and what makes travelling with Wendy Wu Tours so special and so unique. We're off on a virtual trip to Portugal, yes, to see the highlights of Portugal. Plus, we'll be getting off the beaten track to explore those lesser known sites and attractions, as well as those fantastic, authentic, cultural and immersive experiences that Wendy Wu Tours are absolutely known for. Now, because we can only cover so much in one show, and of course, when it comes to talking about Europe and the Middle East, of course, two huge destinations, there is just so much that we could show you. So that's why after the first section, the first part of today's show, do make sure you come and join us at our virtual travel lounge. That's where you'll be able to ask your questions to our expert travel team on Europe and the Middle East, who are just waiting to hear from you and to answer all your questions. And you can ask any question that you want, absolutely, on anything, on touring, and particularly on health and safety. You know, as we are coming out of this COVID time, you know, safety is, paramount. It is top of our minds, and we want you to travel fully confident about traveling with us. So let's travel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined now by Wendy Wu, founder of Wendy Wu Tours, who also happens to be one of the most influential people in travel here in the UK, Australia and New Zealand. Wendy, it is great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thank you, Andy. And everyone, happy Chinese New Year to you all.
So Wendy, if you had to encapsulate the magic ingredients that makes touring with Wendy Wu Tours so special and so unique, what is it?
Andy, I would say it's a fantastic passion, unsurpassed expertise, combined with a desire to serve.
Wendy, that sounds really hot, I have to say.
Thank you, Andy. Andy, we have a team of passionate travel experts. We love nothing more than dig very deep into the culture, history, tradition, food, and every best thing in that country, so that you don't just see the country, but to live extraordinarily during your holiday with us.
Wendy, this is amazing. Got to say, I love the idea of living extraordinary, and I'm sure our viewers do as well, of living extraordinary in a different country on our holiday.
Then, Andy, we have another team of passionate serving experts, and they love nothing more to look after you so well, 24/7 and every step of the way, from your visa to your flights, to your hotel, to your food, and to every excursion, every bit of a commentary, every show, and introduce you to the local people to ensure you have the most wonderful holiday when you are with us. And Andy, with this combined, all we want to do is you have the best holiday whenever you go to a new country with us. Every time and each time.
Really good. Now, Wendy, you said you take care of everything, every step of the way. So I want to know, and our viewers want to know, this is really important, are you then coming with us on every trip?
Andy, I would love to. But Andy, we have more than 1,000 trips a year, so I cannot. But Andy, just use this year as the example. I did join our first ever Spirit of Scotland group. And I also joined the Magic Christmas in Scotland tour. Then I also already done the recce for our Portugal Uncovered unique tour. And I am just about to go on to do the final personal check on our journey through Jordan. So, Andy, you know, yes, I do personally vet our tours.
That's so good to hear and so important, viewers, isn't it? Wendy, we're here today. It's Chinese New Year Travel Festival that we're at. And viewers, it is, of course, the Year of the Tiger. So, Wendy, what does that mean to you, to Wendy Wu Tours, and of course to our viewers today?
Andy, for 2 years, we were under lockdown and robbed off the opportunity to travel. Now, it is a Chinese Lunar New Year, which signifies a new beginning and a changing of season. It is also the time of sowing the seed for the rest of the year. So for me and for our team, is to showcase and inspire you with some of the most fantastic tours around the world. And for you, our viewers, we want you to come with us and enjoy, to plan and to select your dream holiday for your 2022, 2023 and beyond.
Wendy, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you and Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you, Andy, and it's a joy to introduce you to Portugal, one of my favourite countries in Europe, if not the world. So Portugal is a place where history, architecture, landscape and culture combine in the most dramatic way. Its golden age was in the 15th and 16th centuries, when it became the world's first maritime superpower, producing huge wealth from its trading colonies in South America, in Africa, India, and even China and Japan. This golden age for Portugal generated not just wealth, but also a fabulous artistic and architectural legacy, along with a rich network of global influences that still infuse the country today. When we at Wendy Wu Tours chose to develop our range of fully inclusive cultural tours in Europe, Portugal was the very top of the list, and our award-winning 12-day Portugal Uncovered tour was the very first to be launched. The tour is priced at £2,350 and with departures in April, May, September and October this year and next. You can find it on our website, of course, but also in our brand new Europe and Middle East brochure. Portugal is a small country, just 92,000 square kilometres, so around 2/3 the size of England, and a population of only 10 million. But it's packed with historical and cultural interest, and also blessed with arguably Europe's most dramatic coastline and beautifully contrasting inland regions. On top of which, Portugal's food is amazing, especially the Atlantic seafood, and the desserts are famous the world over. And as we discover on our tour, with no less than 5 separate wine tasting sessions, the vineyards of Portugal are among the very best in Europe. In other words, here is a small country packed with all the highlights and interest, perfect for the Wendy Woo style of fully inclusive escorted touring. Travelling times are minimal and the highlights come thick and fast. So what are the top 6 highlights of Portugal? Everyone's list would be different, of course, but mine starts at number 6 with the Gerês National Park. Located right up on the northern border with Spain, the lakes and rivers and dramatic granite mountains of Gerês are home to some of the richest biodiversity in the whole of the Iberian Peninsula, as the mountains form a transitional zone between the warm Mediterranean climate from the south and cooler Atlantic weather systems in the north. We've got a full day to explore the wild natural beauty of this park, with a relaxed and gentle-paced walk to see some of the crystal clear streams, the hidden waterfalls and mountain lakes. We've arranged a picnic stop at one of the lake shores, and there's even the chance for some wild swimming, if you like, which I completely recommend. Number 5 on my Portugal highlights list is Tomar. This is a small and incredibly pretty town located northeast of the capital Lisbon and right at the heart of medieval Portugal. This region is just packed with castles, with monasteries and medieval towns, flaunting all the extravagant wealth drawn from around the world by Henry the Navigator and the other seafaring kings of Portugal. If you love history and architecture as I do, there's almost too much to handle in Tomar. The highlight for me is the just stunning 12th century Convent of Christ, built by the Knights Templar and added to over the subsequent centuries. Here at the convent, you can see some of the best examples anywhere of Manueline architecture, which is unique to Portugal. This is where the Gothic style is infused with nautical motifs reflecting Portugal's seafaring expansion at the time, with twisting ropes and knots and globes and crosses. At number 4, I'm going for the Alentejo region, located south and east of Lisbon and home to some of Portugal's most characteristic landscapes and gorgeous, sleepy, whitewashed villages. Alentejo is sometimes compared with Tuscany or Provence, but to my mind it's very different and distinct from those regions. It does share the rolling landscapes, the wheat fields, the vineyards and the pretty villages, but it's much less sophisticated and also very much less developed. To travel here is like going back in time. So on our tour we visit a cork farm, which has been passed down through the generations of a single family. To see how the farmer and his family live in this place is just magical. We sample their home produced and fully organic produce, and it really is a special highlight of our tour. Number 3 for me is the wonderful, vibrant city of Porto, where our Portugal Uncovered tour starts. Some of you may have visited Porto before, but to my mind, it's one of those special cities that justifies a revisit. The layout of the old city on the steep-sided banks of the Douro River is part of its charm, and then the exuberant architecture and the colourful townhouse facades make it ridiculously photogenic. In my view, Porto is best discovered on foot, with its narrow side streets and its pretty cobbled squares, usually with bars, cafes and boutique shops to explore. And for anyone who loves their port wine, this really is the place to enjoy it, with some of the oldest and the most traditional port warehouses to discover along the waterfront. To reach my number 2 highlight of Portugal, you need to travel upriver from Porto to the magnificent UNESCO-listed Douro Valley, the oldest demarcated wine region in the world. Described as one of the most beautiful wine regions of Europe, the steep sides of the valley have been meticulously terraced and cultivated with ancient vines over hundreds of years. It's a really spectacular, almost magical place, and we've designed what we think is the perfect day to explore it, beginning with a cruise along the Douro River on a historic Rabello boat, followed by a journey down the valley by local train, pausing for lunch, and then exploring on foot a traditional family-run vineyard and learning from the owners all about the winemaking process, while of course sampling some of the port wines. Perfect. My number one highlight of Portugal, drum roll please, has to be the fabulous and unique city of Lisbon. In my opinion, few, if any, other European cities have retained their charm and their character as well as Lisbon. It's really hard to put your finger on exactly what it is that makes Lisbon feel so special, but it may be the blend of its extravagant architecture, its rich seafaring history, and its wonderful location facing the ocean and spread across the steep hillsides. Then there's the stunning food, the wines, the soulful fado music, which we discover on a backstreet walking tour with a professional singer. So much to savour in one small city. We have planned in Lisbon a really exciting full-day tour, starting with a guided walk through the old city, then all aboard a privately chartered tram to ride through the tiniest streets of the old town, followed by an electric tuk-tuk journey out to the coast at nearby Belém, where we witness firsthand the extraordinary legacy of Portugal's maritime power, before finally sailing back to the city along the Tagus River at dusk, the perfect end to a perfect highlights-packed day in this amazing city. So, just to summarise, my 6 highlights of Portugal in descending order are the wild and wonderful Gerês National Park, the history-rich town of Tomar, the dreamy landscapes and ancient traditions of the Alentejo region, the fun and photogenic city of Porto, the exquisite terraced landscapes of the Douro Valley, and last but definitely not least, Lisbon, a capital city like no other. All of these highlights and much, much more are included in our 12-day Portugal Uncovered tour, which still has a few spaces available for April and May, as well as later this year or through 2023. It's a fully inclusive tour with all meals, guiding, activities and sightseeing included at the price, which is from £2,350. I'm really delighted to say that the tour has been shortlisted by Wanderlust magazine as one of their top tours for 2022 due to its imaginative and very comprehensive itinerary and its inclusions. So if you're thinking of joining this tour, please don't hesitate for long, because spaces for this year at least are booking very fast indeed. Thank you very much.
I've loved every minute of it. I decided I was going to see the world, and this is the place to see. If you go on one of these tours, you make some great friends.
Since the beginning of the tour to now, it's been absolutely fantastic, well organised. The itinerary has just been excellent. Couldn't have asked for more. And everyone on the group has got on so well. We really gelled together and it was fantastic. And Ken, the guide, has been amazing.
We've had great hotels, a wonderful guide with Ken. It's a really good group. I'm a solo traveller and I usually look for solo travel specialists, but I got in with this group and we've meshed really nicely. We've had a wonderful time. The food has been tremendous and I've enjoyed every minute. Everything has been thought of, everything has been considered. We've not had to think. For 9 days, all we've had to do is be where we're told to be at a certain time. And then we're taken away and shown the most wonderful thing.
Yeah, totally brilliant. We've delivered more than my expectations. Ken, our national tour guide, nothing has been too much trouble for him. So well organised by Wendy Wu. Brilliant tour, thoroughly recommended.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here in Bar Douro, a very charming, authentic Portuguese restaurant right in the heart of London. And I'm joined by Kate Rowe. Kate Rowe, Head of Reservations and Operations at Wendy Wu Tours. Kate, great to see you today. And I've got to say a big thank you for inviting me to this restaurant. Beautiful.
You're welcome. I thought we can't go to Portugal today, so let's go somewhere where we can at least get a taste of Portugal on this quite cold January day in London. So I brought you here for a couple of reasons. Wanted to show you a few things. First of all, just to admire these beautiful tiles behind us. These are the Azulejo tiles, which are very iconic from Portugal. And customers that go on our tour, they're going to find them everywhere, on the facades of houses, the metro stations, cathedrals, and they really are so unique and so charming. And also, to give you a taste, quite literally, of something from Portugal. So, Andy, I've got for you here a pastel de nata. And, you may have seen these before. They are very iconic, a very iconic treat from Portugal. But just to tell you a little bit about them, the pastel de nata was actually created by Catholic monks in the 1800s. And they used a lot of egg whites starching clothes, and therefore had a huge amount of egg yolks left over. So began to create lots of recipes for sweet cakes and pastries to use up the egg yolks. And one of the most famous recipes is the pastel de nata. It's like a little egg custard with a hint of cinnamon in as well. And if you do go on our Portugal tour, you're actually going to be able to visit the factory, the Fábrica de Pastéis in Belém, in Lisbon, where that bought the recipe for this treat from the monks and opened back in 1837. So we go there on day 11 of the tour. This pastel de nata looks amazing, but I'm sure that one in the sunshine in Lisbon is going to taste pretty good as well.
Absolutely, Kate. But I'm going to say, I'm going to keep that for later. I'm going to look forward to trying that after today's show. Thank you. We saw Portugal earlier on the show. Looks absolutely amazing. And of course, food and drink, is a key item on the Portugal tour. Topic that's very close to all of our hearts, viewers, food and drink. We love it. So what delights can we expect to see in Portugal?
Sure. Well, as you know, all of our Europe tours are fully inclusive. So you've got all of your food taken care of throughout the tour. And we really have searched high and low to find some really authentic restaurants, some traditional restaurants, family-run guest houses where you really can have authentic food and drink experiences. So to give you a couple of examples, in Portugal, you're going to go for some traditional lunches. You're going to have some sumptuous seafood dinners. And there's also quite a bit of wine. So Portugal is famous for its wine. We're going to take you to the Douro Valley, where you'll be able to visit a family-run vineyard, try the food, try the cheese. Also on the tour down in the Alentejo region, we're going to take you to a family-run cork farm. It's been in the same family for 6 generations. It's a 1,400-acre farm, so it's absolutely stunning scenery. And while you're there, as well as wine tasting, they're going to show you their honey production, their olive groves. So really quite a special place to visit.
Gosh, that's amazing. So much lovely food and wine in Portugal. Love it. Of course, Europe, Kate's got to talk about Europe a bit further afield. Lots of amazing and mouth-watering cuisines. And I know Wendy Wu Tours has taken full advantage of this in the new European touring collection. Tell us a little bit more about what we can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us at Wendy Wu Tours, the food and drink is a big part of the experience, and we really try to find authentic experiences for our customers that they wouldn't be able to get on their own. So I'll give you a few examples. On our classical Greece tour, one of the highlights for me is that one day you go truffle hunting. Such a special experience. And we'll actually take you out to the forest in Meteora, where you'll meet with a professional truffle hunter and their dog, and go out truffle hunting, and then of course be able to sample some of your wines later on. We also, on that same Greek tour, take our customers up to the mountains in Karatina, and they'll meet with a chef And the region is really famous for a traditional orange baked pudding, really sweet orange cake, and the chef there will teach you how to make that. So again, just some really authentic, immersive experiences. On our Secrets of Southern Italy tour, highlights for me is that you get to go on a gelato making workshop, which is great fun, and you'll also go in the region of Puglia to a traditional cookery class. So no excuses when you get home not to share your new talents with your family and friends.
Oh, girls, and especially viewers, we're going to have some amazing chefs after all these experiences in Europe this year. Wonderful. Kate, Wendy Wu Tours includes everything in their tours. You know, that's what makes Wendy Wu Tours so special. And that obviously includes, you know, as well as the cuisines that we've spoken about today, all those hosts of amazing, authentic and really immersive experiences. So tell us, what treasures can we expect to find with Wendy Wu Tours in Europe?
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. I mean, obviously on our tours, we want to take you to those big sites, the ones that are on your bucket list, but we also want to take you off the beaten track for some more authentic, unusual experiences. So, for example, on our Classical Greece tour, of course, we're going to take you to the Acropolis. We're going to take you to the Meteora region where, you know, those monasteries are perched right up on top of mountains, really stunning scenery. But we're also going to take you, for example, to an organic honey farm where customers will be able to experience, you know, real traditional Greek hospitality and meet the family that run that farm, find out about how they make honey, taste some of the amazing recipes that they use with the honey. And we're also going to take our customers Greek dancing, Andy. So, you know, a really fun night where you go for a wonderful dinner as a group with a view overlooking the Acropolis. But while you're there, you're also going to meet with a professional dancer and have a real masterclass in folk dancing. So, you know, so some really different experiences.
Amazing, amazing. Truly experiences of a lifetime. Absolutely love it. So, Kate, and of course Scotland, which I know for Wendy Wu Tours was the runaway success story of 2021 and back for 2022. What experiences have you find in Scotland?
Yeah, that's right, Andy. So obviously a little bit closer to home, but still jam-packed with amazing experiences. So when you go on our Scotland tour, it's 11 days, and of course we're going to take you to explore the lochs, the iconic castles that Scotland is famous for, but we're also adding in plenty of the experiences that you would expect from Wendy Wu Tour. So you've got whisky tasting experiences. We're also going to take you on the Jacobite steam train, which is an 84-mile round trip, often voted one of the most scenic railway trips in the whole world. It really is stunning. And another example in Scotland, when we go to the Isle of Skye, we're going to be meeting up with Mitch. Mitch is a bit of a local legend, and he'll be taking us around the island, telling us all about the island's history, the flora and fauna, but also sharing with us some of his foraging tips, some of his wilderness skills. So again, a really special experience.
Wonderful. We can't wait to meet Mitch. Delicioso. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard lots about Europe today, also, in case you didn't know, we have launched a brand new European and Middle East brochure, brand new collections for Europe and the Middle East. And so I'm really excited now to find out more about the Middle East. I'm here with Peter Crane. Peter is our head of product, our global head of product for Wendy Wu Tours. Peter, great to see you today.
And you, Andy. And you. Great to meet you.
Really, really excited about this one, the Middle East. Really, really good. Pete, I know the Middle East for you, you're incredibly passionate about the Middle East. You've travelled extensively throughout the region. Culturally and geographically, incredibly diverse. So what, in your respect, as the expert, are your highlights?
Highlights for the Middle East is a difficult question, Andy, because every single one of the trips we do has a highlight, at least one highlight every single day. So we've got, in Egypt, for example, the pyramids of Giza, one of the most famous sites of the world, one of the ancient wonders of the world, in fact, the only surviving ancient wonder of the world. But in addition to that, we go to the pyramid of the pyramids at Saqqara, the Djoser pyramid, which is the oldest pyramid in the world, dating back 2,700 years. So in Egypt, it has to be the pyramids as the top highlight. In Jordan, probably Petra is the site that everyone associates with Jordan. It's the famous rock-carved facades of the tombs at Petra that date right back to the Nabatean era, when the traders going up and down the spice trails from Oman to the Mediterranean with their camel caravans created those amazing rock-carved tombs in Petra. And finally, in Israel, it has to be Jerusalem. Jerusalem is, for me, one of those really special places, really unlike anywhere else in the world. It's a city like no other, where you get a church, a synagogue, and a mosque sitting right next to each other. The centre, as you know, of three major world religions. Every language under the sun being spoken on the streets of Jerusalem, every type of cuisine, every type of music, an extraordinary place.
Really, really diverse region, isn't it, as you said. And of course, that's the iconic sites that we see that are included on the tours. But if we want to get off the beaten track, we want to do something a little bit different, what are your top recommendations? What are the must-sees, as it were, off the beaten track?
So many options, but I think from Egypt, I'll pick one that was really special to me. When I went there for the first time, it blew me away. It's everybody who goes to Egypt tends to go to the Nile Valley, to Aswan, to Cairo, and to Luxor. But if you look at our tour, we also go up to Alexandria, and we visit in Alexandria the catacombs. So in catacombs, you have an extraordinary experience, a chance to see Roman and Greek and Egyptian architecture and statuary all combined with each other in the same location. An extraordinary place and really properly off the beaten track. In Jordan, I think I picked the experience of being in Wadi Rum overnight. So a lot of visitors to Jordan will visit Wadi Rum, which is one of the most spectacular, magical desert locations on earth. But to visit on a day trip can be slightly disappointing, because you tend to see it in the middle of the day. When you really want to be in Wadi Rum is in the evening, overnight, and first thing in the morning, when the light is spectacular, the desert stars are at their best, and you can really appreciate the beauty of the desert and those lovely granite outcrops all around you.
I feel like I'm there already. I can almost picture it, Peter. Lovely. I can't think, having heard all of this, I can't think of anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, on this planet that has got the most varied selection and diverse experiences than the Middle East. Peter, I know you, like I said, you've travelled extensively. What for you? What are the top experiences that really do it for you in the Middle East?
I'll pick out two, Andy. The first is in Petra, in Jordan. This is a place where we take our groups to a very special local restaurant and learn from the chef how to prepare a little Middle Eastern meal. They'll teach some basic recipes, and we as a group will work together to produce these an amazing meal with the starters and the main, and then sit down to enjoy the dinner at the end of the evening. It's a fantastic experience and a chance to bring home some skills with you at the end of the holiday as well. In Israel, we've got a really special last night of the tour. The final night in Jerusalem, we've organised for a local rabbi to introduce us to the Shabbat tradition. So the rabbi will cook and produce and explain what the traditional Shabbat dinner is like. Explaining all the rituals, why certain foods are eaten and in what order, and what the significance of all those rituals are. So it's a really special one-off experience.
Just so much to see and do. Where do you start? Ladies and gentlemen, really interesting. Who would have thought? Wendy Wu tours, Japan, China, and today we found out Europe and the Middle East. It's just brilliant. Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a selection of fantastic and exclusive travel festival offers for you today. Choose from free return flights to Japan, or partner flies free to all of our other destinations, or even a free single supplement on many of our most popular tours, and that is including Japan, saving you a whopping £1,940 per person. Or to help you fly in total style, we're also offering a free one-way business class upgrade to a wide selection of our destinations. Now, some of these offers must be booked by the 14th of February, whilst some of them are the 28th of February, and most are available on tours throughout 2022 and also 2023. So please check our website for all the details. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a big announcement. Are you ready? We have got a brand new service from Wendy Wu Tours. Now, we know that getting all the paperwork and the testing done before you travel can be quite daunting. So, ladies and gentlemen, just as we look after you every step of the way on tour, we're now taking away all the hassle and worry for you before you fly. So I can exclusively reveal to you today the launch of our brand new travel concierge service. Now, this new service includes either a pre-departure PCR test or 3 lots of lateral flow tests. Plus, you also get 3 personal calls from our travel team. You get a call before departure where a team member will assist you with all of your paperwork. You get a call before you fly home again, where again one of our team members will help you complete your paperwork for returning to the UK. And you also get a call when you arrive home just to make sure that everything went smoothly for you. Now, the current price for this new service is £199. But as a special attendee today, our new travel concierge service is just £99 per person, but you must book by the 14th of February 2022. And so, if all of this has really whet your appetite for travel, and just like me, you can't wait to get away, take a look at these incredible destinations, these getaways that are going to appear on your screen now. These are all departing in the next few months. Let's travel. So, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to see you today on this, our special Chinese New Year travel festival. And we hope you enjoyed your travels around Europe and the Middle East just as much as we have. Now, as I mentioned at the start of today's show, we've just seen a very small glimpse of Europe and the Middle East. The discussion, the very important discussion, continues now as we head over to our virtual travel lounge, where our expert travel team from Europe and the Middle East are waiting to hear from you and to answer all of your questions. And this is particularly important if you've never travelled with Wendy Wu Tours before, because there are a lot of questions to ask. Such as, when is the best time to visit? What hotels do you go to? And how safe will I be on tour now? We want you to travel with full confidence and reassurance, and that's why our team are there and ready to answer your questions. and you can absolutely ask anything that you want to ask on touring. So you'll see the link to the Travel Lounge on your screen now. Just click on that link and you'll be in. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, really good. I've enjoyed it and it's been great to see you. So now let's head over to our virtual Travel Lounge. I'll see you there.
We found Wendywoo to be spot on from start to finish, with all the actual interactions from the booking to the preparation for the trip to arriving at the airport. It's been painless and faultless. Wendywoo, they really do look after you.
I've been on other tours before, and yeah, Wendywoo definitely includes sort of a lot more, it makes it a lot easier.
I liked the idea of what Wendywoo offered. They have an excellent reputation. So I looked at a number of other tour companies, but Wendywoo seemed to be the best.
Everything being included is really important. It makes it very, very easy, and you don't have to worry.
I just felt confident that that Wendywoo would know, the best places to go and the best things to do, and it's proved so far on the trip. It's proved correct.
I've been really impressed with not only right from the start when I rang up to book, the staff in the office were really helpful, just kind of organising things and making sure that we got all the right paperwork in.
Our national escort was Lily. Lily's been fantastic, so full of energy and so helpful. She calls us Lily's family. She's always referring to us as Lily's family. And I think she's really helped us actually bond as a group, which made the whole trip much more enjoyable.
The Great Wall was extraordinary. It genuinely brought tears to my eyes, looking out and understanding the history, and just seeing how it was built in inhospitable terrain across the mountain ridges. It was awe-inspiring.
Wendywoo staff, the local guides, our national guide Lily, they've been more than helpful on many occasions, and they have done absolutely everything they can to ensure that we've had the trip of a lifetime.
I hugged a panda, which was an amazing experience and one that I will never forget.
I recommend Wendywoo tour to everybody, and tell them that if they want to go to China, nobody better than Wendywoo tour.
I will recommend Wendywoo. It's been a terrific experience with them. I've been very pleased.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'd recommend it to people that want to go on an adventure and visit somewhere they'd probably only see once, but to see the authenticity rather than just the tourist highlights that you could see internet.
I will certainly recommend Wendywoo tours when I go back to England. In fact, I'm sure we'll be going on more Wendywoo tours because we want to go to Vietnam and other places, and I see Wendywoo do those tours, so we'll certainly be booking again with Wendywoo.